All right. Well, hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. Welcome to this month's live Q&A. My name is Annette Conrad, and I'm the owner and lead creative for a company called Edible Impressions, which I started, over 18 years ago already. I can't believe it. Maybe even longer than that. From a hobby. So I'm here to answer any of your questions, wonderments. We'll just give it a moment here just to make sure everything's running smoothly. So I'm broadcasting from my business Facebook page, and I periodically will also go live in a private Facebook group called Cookie Decorating Business Made Simple. So I welcome you, all those cookie decorators out there, if you are interested in just sharing your passion and love for all things decorated cookies, and particularly if you are pondering the idea, or perhaps you're already in your journey of transforming from hobby to business, I welcome you to join us because we're having a really good time in that community. I am also a moderator for another beginner group called Sugar Cookie Decorating for Beginners. Sorry, it's a mouthful. And so I thought a while back that this might be a good idea for those that are again, they have a passion for cookie decorating and or my clients. So if you're out there, hello, and thank you for your continued interest. So I'm here to answer questions, any wonderments that you might have. I always have topics for conversation in my back pocket here, but go ahead and do me a favor and just give me a wave if you are here with me live and where you're broadcasting from. And then I certainly appreciate and welcome all those that are catching the replay. So this will indeed be available for replay so that you can watch at your leisure. Okay, so welcome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye out for any of the questions that come in. And let me just make sure I'm on the comments mode. Let's see here, comments. Just one moment. I want to be able to see them. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. So let's just get right down to it. First of all, I'll just quickly introduce myself once again. My name is Annette Conrad, and I'm the owner and lead creative for a company called Edible Impressions. I'm also the creator of Hobby to Business Made Simple. And what is all that about, really quickly, until some of these questions start rolling in here, is I am very happy to announce that over my journey, it took me a while, but I was able to build a small team, which allowed me the flexibility and freedom to do what I really love, is to teach. So the Hobby to Business Made Simple is an opportunity to share my knowledge and expertise, a little bit about how I transformed my hobby to business. So really having a good time. If you want to, at any point, visit AnnetteConrad.com. You can learn a little bit more about me, and I have several free resources as well as some information about my memberships. I do offer 2 memberships, okay? But yeah, in the Facebook group, again, Hobby to Business Made Simple. It is a free Facebook group, and there is such great engagement. We are almost like 4.5 thousand strong. And I just really do appreciate everybody in the community sharing, their love and passion for all things decorated. So hello, Renee, welcome. And hello, April. Thanks for joining. So we've got Texas and Ohio. Just so you know, I am tuning in from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So just north of downtown, about 14 miles. But I always like to say that my bakery is a small but mighty operation, and we are shipping nationwide and pretty regularly. So, oh, hi, Tisha. She's tuning in from Minnesota. So, hello, neighbor. We just finished up with a Wednesday night masterclass. So, I see a couple of my members here in the live feed right now, and we had a really good conversation about turning the tables and winning in the fourth quarter. So, what are some strategies that you can do to really finish strong? So that was a really good really good conversation. In fact, last week we started our conversation and there was so much to talk about, so many strategies that we shared with each other. I decided that this week was part 2. So again, that we filled that hour with no problem. What's great about being part of the membership is that you have access to not only the live conversations via Zoom, but also all the replays. So there is a question. Here we have our first question. So thank you, April. My goal is to answer questions only, but of course I can always fill in with some fun facts. So the question is, can a QR code be used to gather emails? How would we go about doing this? Absolutely. So the QR codes are really a clever way to have a call to action. So whether you incorporate for those cookiers out there or you corporate leaders, it's a great way to capture not only a standard URL, but it also could be a PDF, it could be a video, it could be an audio message. There's so many uses for the QR code. It's a very clever way to direct your recipients, attendees, clients, prospective clients to a specific location or action. So when you say emails, absolutely, because what you could do is create a email, depending on what website platform you're using or what email source you're using, it is as simple as creating a URL where that is being housed to then allow people to sign up. So definitely you can use a QR code for that purpose. So now when it comes to QR codes, I'll just kind of keep talking about this until we see another question. But you know, I just warn you that there are many, many free platforms for QR codes that you can capture a QR code pretty standard, pretty easily. I want to just kind of give you those cookiers out there if you do decide to use it, that if it is a paid platform, you just be careful because there's a free like 7-day trial. And if you create a QR code for someone and you are not paying for that source, that QR code may not work. So just a little bit of a pro tip there. You want to make sure that QR code where it was created, that you will have the rights to it after that free trial is over. So just a little side note there. Hello, Renee. So she says, I just ordered my first airbrush and some food coloring. I see people talk about using alcohol with the food colors. Can you talk on this? I've never even been around an airbrush. Oh my gosh. So this is great. Thank you for that question. And I know I've done a couple of long, 60-minute master classes on airbrushing. So one was airbrushing textures and techniques, and then the other one was specifically on using Sugar Prism. So Sugar Prism is a premium art product, edible paints. And so where I'm going with this is that some of the airbrush solutions are meant to be used with alcohol so that it evaporates and you're just left with the colorant. Sugar Prism, which I'm a huge fan, so if you want to go to sugarprism.com, Michelle Ingalls, one of our community members, very engaging in the community, is an extremely talented artist, and she's the creator of those products. And what I love about them is that you don't use alcohol. It can be mixed with water. It's a powder, it's in powder format, so you only have to make what you need, and you don't have to use alcohol. And the colors are super brilliant. So so when you use alcohol or an extract, what happens is that alcohol evaporates as you're airbrushing, and then you're just left with the coloring. So, so that kind of just gives you a little bit of guidance on that. And I think what I'll do is put in the feed here, if there is a Facebook group, Painting with Sugar Prism. See if I can find it here. Oh, it should pop up. It doesn't seem like it's popping up here. I'll just give you her website to start. So yeah, you can connect with her. Fantastic products, really reasonably priced. You might think that it's pricey, but it's really not, because those paints will last you a long, long time. That goes a long way. So just to want to give a little shout out to Michelle Ingalls and Sugar Prism. So, and then the other thing I'll say really quickly is I do have a third master class that I did on cleaning your airbrush and troubleshooting your airbrush, because inevitably your airbrush is going to clog, it's going to smear, it's going to spray incorrectly. So it happens, and really to no fault of the user. It's just one of those tools that need to be regularly cleaned, and occasionally you will need to take it apart completely. So I did a whole masterclass on taking them apart and putting them back together for the purpose of cleaning them. So your question, Renee, is, are my masterclasses available to watch? They are. I have literally a library of 40 plus masterclasses. Over the last couple of years, I have an incredible library of not only business strategies, but also decorating techniques. And so that is within my membership community. So if you go to AnnetteConrad.com, you can see both offerings. One is specific to cookie decorators. So for those that have no interest in creating a business, but the one that I have for the hobbyist to business owner does give you access to my live masterclasses, as well as all the replays. Okay, all the replays are in there. You can watch it at your leisure. And I also do offer 2 monthly coaching calls. And I'm telling you, my membership is $12 a month. It's $85 for the year. But that's my founding members price, and that is going up December 1st. So if you want to get in, grandfathered in for a year, then get in now. So again, AnnetteConrad.com, and you can get more information on that. So hello, Marty from Los Angeles. Oh my gosh, how was the weather in Los Angeles? And thank you again, Renee. I appreciate your engagement and your questions. So for those that are just tuning in or watching the replay, I'm answering questions, all of your wonderments, suggestions. I've been decorating cookies for over 20 years, and I run my profitable business for over 18 years. And I also am a professional, experienced event planner. I worked for the Marquette University here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for just about 24 years. And so my event planning experience and my love for cookie decorating and being an entrepreneur has collided, and this is what you get. I have loads and loads of experience and knowledge, and I love to share, and I'm pretty good at guiding and teaching folks. So if you're looking to kind of figure out what steps to take, and minimally just join my free Facebook group, and happy to serve you there. So all right, so bring on the questions. I will keep an eye on the feed here. But I'll just tell you a little bit more about what's going on in the world of cookie decorating. So we are now in the holiday mode. And so one of the things that we are really offering, and I always talk about the importance of niching down and not being everything to everybody. So we're really excited here at Edible Impressions to offer our virtual decorating experiences for corporate team building, for your prospective clients, for family and friends, for just being able to celebrate milestones. And then we do really heavy on the corporate gifting as well. So my team and I are gearing up for a very strong fourth quarter finish here, and we really do appreciate the opportunity to help you showcase your brand, and most importantly, share your appreciation. And then really that's what we do. My specialty is going to be the cookies decorated with royal icing. So if you're wondering, I use royal icing. I am also very involved with the community. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to a luncheon. I was invited by the director to go to the Ronald McDonald House luncheon, Bags and Bubbles. So I'm looking forward to that downtown here in Milwaukee. So, and as an appreciation, because we do several in-kind donations, and we are gearing up for the we do a Christmas in the Third Ward here downtown Milwaukee. So we're donating 10 dozen cookies. So it's really fun to be able to, around the holiday season, not only fulfill paid orders, but also give back to the community. So that's really, we're looking forward to that. All right. Let me know, let's see, if you have other questions. Renee, thank you. If you want to make a DIY cookie decorating box, what consistency of icing do you provide? I'm thinking about medium consistency. Great question. So yes, so in our cookie decorating kits, we do use, again, royal icing, so not buttercream. I love royal icing for the fact that it is a very stable frosting or icing, and that it does not need to be refrigerated. And we actually insulate them right away in the tipless decorating bags, taped, or you can use rubber bands, whatever your comfortable with. And it is a more of a medium, I call it a hybrid consistency. So what we want is we want our attendees with the virtual experiences, or if they're purchasing a kit to decorate on their own, we want that consistency to give them the experience of outlining and flooding. So what you don't want to do is have the icing be too thick, but you also don't want it to be too loose where they're going to get a little frustrated and it's going to go all over the place. So I always look and shoot for that icing of, yeah, like a glob or ribbon. I think a lot of folks in the industry know that term. But what's going to happen is when you flood the cookie, it may not seep flat right away. So you might have to just tap and shake it a little bit. That's kind of a nice consistency that I like to see for a cookie decorating kit. Now, one of the things that you'll notice with the icing when they're sitting in the bags is that the water will separate, which is very, very natural. So before, or if I'm not doing a virtual with a group, I will definitely make sure that in those instructions, it does tell them to knead the bag a little bit so that they don't have really runny icing, because it's very, very natural for that water to separate. So yeah, thank you. No, you're very, very welcome. So, you know, and I'll just say on that topic, you know, in person, virtual experiences, I mean, if you've not tried them before, people ask me all the time, you know, is it profitable? Is it worth it? And I say 100%. They're not only just fulfilling and fun, but they can be very, very profitable. So we are shipping out our cookie decorating kits nationwide to the attendees, shipping so that they arrive 2 days before the event. We are coming on live. I'm actually the virtual guide for those. I've offered to my teammates, but no one seems to want to do them except me, which is fine by me because I love them. And it's really, really, they're very well received, very, very well received. And I can do them for a small group of 4 to 5 people to actually several hundred. In fact, we did, I did 2 that were, believe it or not, several thousand. So yes, they can be extremely profitable. So thank you for that. Yeah, and the royal icing, and you know, if you are, I'll just kind of continue on the topic of teaching, and whether it's in person or whether it is virtually, you know, keep it really basic. You know, just keep in mind that, you know, these folks are gathering, they're not all inspiring to be or aspiring to be cookie decorators. So you want to really kind of read the group. Some of them really get into it and they may have lots of questions, but I always try to keep front and center that the reason we're gathering is for them to get together. I'm just there to guide them through a little sneak preview into the art of the decorated cookie, and you know, keep it super basic. So a little sneak preview, outlining, flooding, detailing, but it's really, really fun to see how people get really excited when they think like, oh no, my cookies are not going to look like that. And then at the end of the experience, they are super excited to share what they've learned, and you know, just how challenging it is, I should say. I think there's an appreciation that comes about when people admire those beautiful cookies online and they wonder, how do people do them when they actually see them? A lot of people are like, oh, now I get it. Now I understand why they're priced the way they are, because it is a labor of love, as we all know. So, but yeah, so thank you. Let me just scroll back here and see if there were any questions that I may have missed. Excellent, excellent. Okay, and I will say, you know, if you need to run away, no problem. You can always come back and catch the replay. I will be coming back post live to answer any questions or wonderments. If you are watching the replay, just type in replay, just to kind of let me know that you were here with me. And yeah, this is really fun for me to kind of just connect with you. Okay, so another question here. Thank you, Renee. I feel like Renee's like my co-host here. I love this. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So what about the paint your own cookie, where the paint the dots are along the bottom of the cookie? You activate those dots with a wet paintbrush. Yes, absolutely. And another great question about paint your own. There's so many different ways that you can create a paint your own, not only the cookie, but the actual palette. So let's see if I can just kind of rattle them off here. So you can, let me just make a little visual here. So I guess what you're referring to is, like, let's say you have a very basic square cookie and you have your image, your design here. you can actually make your paint palettes into little dots. You could use royal icing, heavy on the dye, use royal icing dots. You could make just all white dots of royal icing and then airbrush the color with a really nice, brilliant airbrush color. You could purchase them pre-made. There's some companies that you could buy the palettes pre-made. But yes, you just activate with water, honestly. And all the color gels are pretty concentrated, so you could even brush some of the color gel right onto those dots. Um, yeah, so paint your own are a lot of fun. All right, take a breath here. Sometimes people tell me I talk very quickly, so thank you for hanging in here. Um, and yeah, I'm never at a loss for words. My grandmother used to call me a radio, so I can always fill time here in between the questions. Um, but yeah, paint your owns are a lot of fun, and that's a great strategy for the holidays. I tell you, if you are looking to kind of revive or increase visibility or make some extra sales, paint your own. I mean, families are getting together for the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or any other holidays. They're really great because the paint your own presentation can be purchased, set some minimums. I'm going to say set some minimums, and they can all be put in the freezer. So, if you're not letting your customers know that, decorated cookies do freeze very, very well. Of course, you want to put them in an airtight container. You want to, make sure that you thaw them properly. Let them thaw on the countertop just to avoid any condensation. But they're really great treats for kids or even for adults if they're looking to do something fun or just want a sweet treat. You can just pull them right out of the freezer and you could be ready to go pretty quickly. Um, so one of the things that we talked about in our group coaching call this past Tuesday, and again, part of the membership, the Hobby to Business membership that I offer includes two, second Thursday in the evening at 6:30, and then also the fourth Tuesday at 11 o'clock to noon. And what's really wonderful is part of being part of the community is you can submit questions in advance of those group coaching calls. If you're not able to join live, I will answer your questions via Zoom. Everything's recorded. So all the master classes are recorded. All the group coaching calls are recorded. So you can come back in and listen to the conversation that's taking place for those that are live. And again, if you can't make it, I'm actually answering your question. So it's really a great thing for you to have my attention. And again, please take advantage of my years of experience. My journey was not a straightforward one. I will not sit here and let you know that I made every correct decision, but I did make a lot of really good decisions, and I continue to as my business is thriving and growing. And every year that it grows, I'm actually working a little smarter. My team's working a little bit more efficiently, and we're not working as hard, but we are continuing to see our revenue go up. So learn from me. Don't lose all those, weekends and late nights. There is definitely strategy to building a business and still having a life and still getting some sleep for whatever it's worth. So, all right. Keep those questions coming. I do have an announcement just today. If you were to go to, I think I posted it a couple places, but I had the opportunity to be a guest for the second time. This second time was just a very quick pre-recorded update for the Forager podcast. So David Crabbill, I just want to give him a little shout out. He is the creator of the Forager podcast. He is an expert in the food cottage laws. So I was a guest, over a year ago already, where he invited me in to be able to talk a little bit about how I've transform my hobby to business and how I've really niched down into the corporate sector. And so I was able to give a update on his 100th episode. So congratulations, David, if you're watching this. I really do appreciate the opportunity. And it's a really, really good episode. So Forager podcast, look him up, David Crabbill. I will post it in the feed for you. And I will warn you, it's a 2 hour long episode. So I actually listened to it this morning while I was doing some packaging, and I was up early. And it was really, really interesting to hear where folks are at with either their licensed bakery. Most of them were under the food cottage laws. Some of them are thriving. Some of them have decided to close up. Some of them have completely pivoted, and it's really, really interesting and very motivating, actually, to hear where folks are. And it's exciting because a lot of the folks talked about, myself included, talked about our goals and the things that we want to do, that we're striving for, and many of us have hit that goal and have hit that target. So it's really, really exciting to hear through that podcast. All right. Thank you, April, for your question. How many choices for corporate gifts do you offer? Oh, fantastic question. So, if you get to know me, and especially in the Hobby to Business Made Simple membership, and even within the community, I always talk about less is more, and how you want to really zone in on not just your products that you're going to offer, but who do you want to work for, who do you want to work with, and what do you want to offer to, solve a problem or fill a desire. And so when we're talking about corporate gifts, I do really, not intentionally, but I think just because we've done it so well, that our clients have realized, and I think the message I'm putting out there is that we are experts in our logo cookies, image cookies, artwork cookies, and our packaging also is pretty, sophisticated, and is very professional. And so I don't offer a wide variety. We certainly want to personalize, but we will pair our cookie decorating, our corporate gifting, typically with an assortment of 3 cookies. So I have some companies that all have all logos. I have some that will do 1 logo with 2 seasonal hand frosted orders. Sometimes they're all, the same. Sometimes there's a variety, but I do charge accordingly based on the number of boxes, how big the boxes are, the decorating technique, the size of the cookie. And the reason I do that is because I want to be able to give them the best price possible. And so when it comes to like choices, they really have the choice of the size and the presentation and the assortment of designs, if that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, go a little deeper if you have a specific, if you want to kind of go off of that. Our packaging includes, just for those, if my clients are out there listening or watching the replay, we have our smallest presentation is going to be a box of 3 cookies in our pillow box, and then it goes up from there. We have a box of 4, 6, 12. We have figured out a way to ship. Our platter presentations now can be shipped. So oftentimes for corporate business, we will ship out a box of smaller size cookies with the intention and knowing that they're going to be sharing them with a lot of people. So it really just depends on, what the needs are of your client, so that I can offer a presentation that makes sense. So hopefully that will answer your question. April, thank you for that so much. I appreciate it. Very good. Okay. All right. And so for those of you that are watching and you're cookiers, I would be curious to know if anyone is attending, which is coming up extremely quickly here, is the Holiday Cookie-a-thon. I just want to kind of put a plug in for that. I'm excited to announce that, again, Edible Impressions, or I should say Hobby to Business Made Simple, is going to be, or is a mixer level sponsor this year. So long story short, a couple of years ago, I had participated as an attendee. It's a 4-day online virtual cookie decorating, I'm just going to call it a marathon. So thank you, Nancy Westfall and her entire team. She is the creator of the Colorful Cookie, and she puts on a semi-annual cookie-a-thon. So there's 2 of them, spring and then the holiday. And yes, Renee, you won one of my access passes. So yes, congratulations again. And it was really, the timing is impeccable because tomorrow, So please confirm that you did get an email with your access. You'll need to create an account. But tomorrow, for anyone that has an all access pass, which gives you not only access to the live and the pre-recorded while it's going on, so it's the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th of November. So you can watch it for free, but you can only watch it for that weekend. So once it's over, it's gone. You can't see any of the demos. She's good to go. Awesome. I'm really excited for you. So it's a $97 value that Renee and 3 other members of the community were gifted. So because along with my sponsorship, I was gifted 4 passes to give out. So yes, congratulations. I'm really excited for you. And so yeah, so you can watch for free. I will, when I'm done, go ahead and post in some affiliate links if you're interested, but you can register for free. You can watch them while they're on live, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, but the all access pass, and it's not only just a year access like it used to be the last couple of years. It's actually now you can access it for life, or as long as it's out there. So that's really exciting. And I mean, talk about demonstrations. I mean, every cookie decorating technique is on this marathon, so it's really cool. And for you beginners out there, please don't get overwhelmed because it can be a little overwhelming with all the possibilities of decorating. And for you, those of you that are out there transforming your hobby to a business, be very careful, because I want you, as you're watching these demonstrations and all these techniques, and I have to do it for myself because I still love to decorate cookies, but there's certain techniques that don't come into my business, primarily because it's maybe not as efficient and it takes a long time, and I'm not going to go on and on about that, but there are certain things that you're going to have to kind of let go. You're going to have to take off that hobby hat, you got to put on that business hat, and so you might have to let go of something because you can't be everything to everyone. You can't do every decorating technique that's out there. Because it's just not sustainable, and it is just not profitable. So just keep that in mind as you're going through and watching those. But it is really exciting, and it's really fun to see the absolute level of creativity that comes out of that event. So thank you, Nancy, again. And it is literally global. There's people all over the world participating as an instructor, and also the attendees. So really cool. All right, so I am looking for some more questions. Yeah, this might be a tough time for folks. I know it's in the evening. I might be taking you away from your dinner plans, or, time with your kids. I totally understand that. But like I said, if you're watching the replay and you do have a question, I do come back and I will, respond and go a little deeper on any one of your questions. So, all right. Other things. Oh, maybe I can talk about, there is an event that's coming up that I'm also really excited to participate in. And again, we do a lot of work with some of our charitable organizations here in Milwaukee. And I, for years, had supported and continue to support an event called the Sugar Plum Luncheon, and it is in support of Children's Hospital. So here's a creative use for our cookie decorating kits. And first of all, we are donating 100% the favor bags. So it's going to be beautiful, and I will make sure I post this in the Facebook community. It will also be posted on my blog, on my website. But we're making these beautiful large plums. That's going to be a combination of some decorating techniques. It'll be frosted, it'll be sanding sugar. We'll add a little edible glitter. Again, very fast, but very elegant. Very excited about how that's going to look on the tables. And then we're also donating a portion of the proceeds from the cookie decorating kits. We're going to have 2 available at the event. I will be there at a table with one of my favorite cookie decorators, Sylvia Schwartz, who's up here, although she may have left already, but she's been working today. And we're going to be manning the table, and the attendees will purchase cookie decorating kits at the event, but they can also order online. And again, a good chunk of that sale is going to go back to Children's Hospital. So I'm really excited about that it's always really, really fun to be at an event in person. So thank you in advance to my fellow volunteers and staff members from that luncheon. So that's November 15th. So that's coming up, and that's pretty much right in the middle of our holiday season, but I'm making time to go, and we're really excited about that. So yeah, thank you, Renee. Very nice. She said she's thankful for sharing my knowledge. I really do try, to share, as much as I can. And like I said, I do welcome you reaching out to me if you have any specific wonderments. All right. So question, if I want to sell cookies and give some prices to a local nonprofit, what is the going amount to gift? You know what? It really is going to depend on the relationship that you build. So we can talk a little bit about the establishment of collaborating or partnering with a nonprofit. So first of all, I do make it very clear to the organizations that my business is not a charitable organization. So I can tell you, kind of not going too far back, but there was a time early in my journey as a business owner that I was being approached often. I mean, we're talking pretty regularly. And I think for a while I was giving away too much. And in all different formats. So whether it was a gift card or if it was cookies or if it was a cookie decorating kit, and I was starting to stretch myself a little bit too thin. And what I was finding also is that it was very small donations. It was very small in kind, where I really wasn't getting any kind of visibility. There was really no return, even though, of course, I do it for, filling the soft spot in my heart. But again, we're also business owners and we want to be able to have some recognition for that as well. So where I'm going with this is that rather than, give a gift certificate here and there, I decided to, number one, reduce the number of times and all the asks that were coming in. So I took the strategic route of identifying a couple of organizations that I want to, as the business owner, to collaborate and partner with. So we work regularly with Vision Forward, Children's Hospital, Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, Ronald McDonald House, Kenosha Achievement Center. So there's a handful that we pretty regularly will participate with, either in full in kind, like 100% donation, or a partial. So here's the thing, to answer your question, there really is no right or wrong pricing. It's really going to come, down to you as the business owner and how much you can give. And also, what is the return? So some of the organizations I work with, I will donate a certain amount, but then they also are purchasing from me for certain events. So really, in the end, it might just be a complete wash, but at least it's not costing me anything. It's kind of like doing wholesale. But again, the exchange is, feeling good about helping the community, but also being able to cover my costs too. So yeah, so you can always do a percentage, you can do a flat amount. I've never increased my prices to be able to, some people could do that, and that's fine. I mean, you could definitely say, hey, this favor bag is $10, but $5 is going to go to the organization, which is not a bad idea for, especially for school fundraisers. I think that works really well, where parents are purchasing to support the cause. They're not just buying the cookie; they're supporting the cause. So I think it does work well if you want to upcharge, so that you're not losing out on your profit margin, but that organization is still making some money. So hopefully that helps. It's kind of a long answer to your question. So yeah, but I've really enjoyed the partnerships, and they've been great. I mean, it's been really a nice, not only feel good strategy, but it's also just to give visibility in my business. So I've gotten a lot of referrals from those in-kind donations, and really that's how my business started. And I mean, to date, we do not spend any money on paid advertising. We are investing in, I guess, marketing, if you will. But to me, it's more my time. It's the investment is my time or my team's time or me attending events. I will purchase tickets to go to events, to network with people, to get to know them, to get an understanding of what their business is like or the organization is like. And so that to me is like a really, really good investment. Versus just, I'm not knocking Facebook ads or any other type of social media ads, but for my business, it's worked really well for me to connect because I'm a people person and I know people say that all the time, but I really do thrive and on just meeting and establishing a relationship. And that's just worked really well for me as a business. So, um, great. Yeah, really, really good questions. So thank you. So Renee, I'm gonna call you my official, unofficial host of the evening tonight. So thank you for your questions. I really do appreciate that. So I'll stay on for another few minutes here. I mean, I'm here for the hour. Boy, there's so many things that we could talk about. What are we working on right now? We do have a kind of a variety of orders happening right now. We are, again, working on cookie decorating kits. I've actually have a virtual experience tomorrow night with a group of, it's actually a big group, it's 200 people. Bye, Sylvia. And so I'm excited about that because we curated a Halloween cookie decorating kit. So it has 2 pumpkins, 2 haunted houses, it has 2 spider webs, and Frankenstein. So it's going to be adorable. And I will for sure post that in the feed with some screenshots if I do have permission of the group. So, yeah, so it'll be really fun. So we're working on that, corporate gifting, of course, and we've got a big order next week actually for GE for an upcoming safety meeting. So I'm really excited to have those cookies be part of their break that they will be handing out to their employees. So, all right, I see another question. What are some of your biggest mistakes through the years? Oh, I love this question. And thank you so much for asking. Yes, so yes, I made some mistakes. I think the first thing that comes to mind, my biggest mistake is I was creating, not realizing I was building a business when I was working full time. And when I was working full time, I was putting a lot of hours. Okay. When you're an event coordinator, associate director for a major university, you're putting in a lot of hours, nights, weekends. So if you can imagine, I was not only working full time, but I was also doing cookies on the side. So I would literally come home, and this is when my kids were pretty small too. So they would be the first to be dropped off at daycare. They'd be the last ones to be picked up at daycare. We would come home, we would quick settle in, have dinner. I would change my clothes, get the kids to bed, and then I would go upstairs to my bakery. Oh my gosh. I lost a lot of sleep and lost a lot of weekends and a lot of family functions. So one of my biggest mistakes is, first of all, taking too much on too quickly and also not asking for help. I mean, those are the 2 biggest things that if I could, really just give you any kind of advice is to don't wait. And I know that you're going to feel like it's tough at the beginning because you don't have maybe that revenue coming in, but I'm telling you, it is an investment in you, your business, your health. And it's just going to make you just work smarter because if you can let go earlier than later, it will allow you to truly be the CEO of your business. It will allow you to put that business hat on. I think I was spinning my wheels for too long because I was shopping, I was cutting, baking, making frosting, decorating, I was packaging, I was shipping, I was doing all those things. And it really didn't allow me to be strategic. And so what was happening is I was doing everything, like I was being everything to everyone. We were doing it all. And now when I look back, our profit margin and our revenue is tenfold, and we are actually not staying up super late. We are not staying up all night. And yes, I had a lot of late nights and I mean, overnights, okay? And weekends too are pretty selective. Even during the holiday season, there are still weekends where my team is off for the weekend. So we're just working smarter and more efficiently. So again, I know it's my long-winded answer to your question, but yes, my business mistake, I think, was just not asking for help. And I continue. I mean, there's still things that I'm doing that I know I shouldn't be doing. Or it's not that I shouldn't be doing, it's that it's just because I can do it doesn't mean I should be doing it. But there's that want and that mode of creativity, and I'm just very much of a hands-on person, so it's hard to let go 100%. But believe me, I have let go a lot, and I was very resistant and very stubborn. And now I look back and it's like, okay, what else can I decorate, or what else can I delegate? So um, yeah. Oh, and thank you so much for that. It took me well into my 30s to tell myself it was okay to say no. Oh, that is so good. And if you leave with nothing else this evening, I'm going to tell you, and maybe you've heard it before because it's pretty popular out there, but if you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And so that is super powerful as a business owner, or as you're transforming or thinking about transforming your hobby to business. You've really got to keep that front and center. And I too, I would say yes to everything. Yes, yes, yes. I was a yes person, and now it is so relieving to be able to say no. And, especially if you're starting off, if you're not ready to take those big orders, if you think you shouldn't, then you shouldn't. And don't worry, because that business will be there when you are ready. Okay. So, yes, much more peaceful. In fact, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but the other day we had an opportunity to take on a very, very large order, and it was going to be very short notice on top of what was already on the docket for this next week. And I worked the numbers. I made sure I had the product. I made sure that staffing was available. We could have executed it. It would have been tough. And I think for this job, we would have lost a little sleep, but to me, it would have been worth it, because it was a really exciting opportunity. But in the end, it didn't come through because that company decided that it was way too short of notice, which I was somewhat relieved because, I had some plans this weekend. I have plans tomorrow to go to a luncheon, as I mentioned. I have plans to go to a Halloween party on Saturday night. I have plans with a friend of mine on Sunday for brunch, and I would have had to cancel all those had this order come through. So, sometimes it's okay for things not to come through, or for you to say no. Or, thank you. You can just say, and here's what I do is, rather than saying no, it feels like it's a very harsh, like negative word. I like to use the words of I graciously decline. Give them a reason. Let them know that you'll keep the door open for a future opportunity, but don't feel bad. You've got to make those decisions. And what I think about, if I'm going to say yes or no to something, I really think long and hard. How is it going to help my team? Is it going to hurt them, or is it going to help them? What does it do for my business? And is it something that, is it going to take away from something else? So I've had a couple of experiences with that. And so I have to be very careful. And actually, last holiday season, we had something that also really big came in. And again, I actually pulled myself out of that RFP, because what was going to happen. And I thank my husband, because he was like, just understand, if we say yes to this job, we literally was going to have to say no to all of our existing clients for the holiday season. And I really thought hard about that, and I pulled out of it because I didn't want to have to say no to my loyal customers. And yes, it would have been a wonderful opportunity, but that would have meant that I would have been that sole provider for one company, and it was going to be a one-time thing, and I did not want to jeopardize the relationships that I built. So I'm really thankful for that. So anyway, all right, I think that takes the record of the longest response to a single question. Would you not agree? Oh my word, but this is so fun. Thank you so much. I truly enjoy these. Again, I come on once a month in my Facebook business page. Feel free to DM me. I really do encourage you to go to AnnetteConrad.com. You can send me a question if you want. I've got an opportunity for you to, if you want to do a one, single coaching call, you can join my free Facebook group called Cookie Decorating Hobby to Business Made Simple. There's lots of ways to engage in the community. There are some fantastic cookie decorators and business owners who are more than willing to share in that group. So if you have questions, don't be shy. Um, oh, Renee says she thinks she's out of questions. No problem. I think we answered quite a few, and I also kind of went through a number of other items that were kind of front and center. So, but no, this has been fantastic. So I will look forward to your questions in the feed. Thank you very much, and we will see you again real soon. I will be back on live on Friday, one of my favorite times of the week, the Rapid Fire Friday. So I come on and I answer 5 questions or wonderments that I think you might find interesting from the week prior. So in all of those replays, I think I have a series of 60 episodes, at least 60 episodes, that you can go back and watch the replays at your leisure. So that's housed in the free Facebook group. So, all right, I'm going to give you another minute here to see if there's any final questions for the evening. Give it one more moment here. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate your time. And I guess we'll wrap up at this point. So thank you so much. Again, reach out if I can be of any service, and we'll see you again all real soon. Thanks, everybody.